Hi everybody, welcome back. So as I said previously, the rate at which every sample is triggered in pulse mode depends on the pulse unit, and as you can see, the value for that pulse unit is specified as a rational number. So let's see how that works. So if, let's say, I wanted an eighth note pulse, I would say 1/8. Or if I wanted a dotted quarter note, I would say 3/8, and so on. So just in case this way of specifying the pulse unit is not clear enough, you'll be able to find more information about this in the documentation. Now, moving on, the duration multiplier is what actually defines the duration, and this is the duration with respect to the current specified pulse unit. So basically, the duration of every note will be the same as the pulse unit multiplied by the value in this parameter. So let's see how that works. So let me specify 116. And so a way of thinking about this parameter is that, at least in pulse mode, it controls how much overlap there is between consecutive notes. So if it's set to 1, there would be no overlap or no gaps in between each note. But if it's set to, let's say, 2, there would be 2 notes overlapping at any given time. Or if it's below 1, we would have something, the equivalent of an staccato, leaving gaps in between each pulse. Now with this parameter, duration variation, we can specify the amount of random variation, the amount of random duration, for each sample. And with rate variation, we can also mess with the periodicity of the pulse, which is helpful for creating more textural sonorities. Now let's move on to change sample mode. With change sample mode, we can change the sonority drastically, especially if we have a timbrally diverse corpus. So as you've probably noticed by now, when we have more than one active note in our MIDI input, EC Sampler is choosing a different sample for every one of these notes. So another way of saying this is that we are changing samples pitch-wise. But we can also set these changes to happen chord-wise, where for every pulse, all the currently active notes will be assigned the same sample, and these samples will be the same for every pulse, and it will change from pulse to pulse or chord to chord. You'll notice that the sound is quite different depending on which mode we're using, so this is an important setting to consider. Now, before moving on, it's worth pointing out that for obvious reasons, some of these settings only apply when using pulse mode. For example, you can't really randomize the pulse rate in trigger mode because there is no pulse. But I hope this gives you a better idea of how this device works, and in the following video we're going to continue seeing at the remaining parameters. So I hope to see you there, and thanks for watching.